2019 is coming to a close, as well as my 10th year on YouTube talking about movies. It's been a really fun ride, and it's once again time to talk about my favorite films of the year. Now, these are my personal picks. Some of these you aren't going to agree with. They're going to be in certain orders that you might not have put on your list, and that's just how this works. Let's get started with my honorable mentions. Rocket Man. Taron Egerton gave a great performance as Elton John. Ad Astra, a film more concerned about what's on a character's mind than sci-fi set pieces. Avengers Endgame is basically the pinnacle of what you might expect from big blockbuster entertainment. Peanut Butter Falcon, one of the most heartwarming films of the year. Ride Your Wave, my favorite Japanese animation of the year. Joker, one of the best performances ever for a comic book movie. 1917, a war film directed to look like one shot. Dark Waters, a movie that everybody should see about a dangerous chemical that unfortunately just about everybody has in their system. And Toy Story 4. Some of those movies you may have expected to be on my actual list, but they're not. It doesn't mean I don't like them. In fact, I love them. There are just 15 other films that really meant something to me this year. And I've chosen 15 because this was actually a really damn good year for movies, much better than last year. So let's get started. Since The Babadook, I've been dying to see a new film from Jennifer Kent. And The Nightingale is somehow everything I wanted while also being a film I never want to see again. Horrifying, brutal, and completely unforgiving, nearly every scene in this film turned my stomach. Featuring an Oscar-worthy turn from Aisling Franciosi, this is a gut punch of a film and a worthy follow-up to a great horror movie. Potentially the most underrated film I saw this year, Official Secrets, was directed by Gavin Hood. Who knows we didn't really like X-Men Origins, and that's just fine with him. This is the true story of a British intelligence officer, played by Keira Knightley with cutthroat intensity, who leaked sensitive information to the press about an illegal NSA spy operation designed to push the UN Security Council into sanctioning the 2003 invasion of Iraq. This true story has a disastrous ripple effect into modern day and is the kind of film that gets increasingly harder to believe as it goes on, not due to poor filmmaking, but to the levels of corruption you witness. Don't let this one slip under your radar. Adam Sandler and the Safdie brothers have made a film likely to tear your nerves to ribbons. From the sound design, in which every actor constantly yells over the other, to the edit, with shots aggressively bursting onto the screen like an action movie, Uncut Gems assaults your senses persistently. Sandler gives his best performance ever. If you're watching Sandman, please do more shit like this. Awkwafina is exceptional as Billy, a Chinese woman who spent many years living in America, who must go along with a Chinese tradition she's very uncomfortable with. When her family learns her grandmother is dying, they decide not to inform her, and she must deal with this custom and keep it a secret while trying to act like nothing's wrong. Lulu Wang drew from personal experience, translating her own powerfully complex story to the big screen beautifully. Taika Waititi may be the only filmmaker alive capable of making a satire that pokes fun at Nazi Germany, Hitler, and the Holocaust. If there was an Oscar for Best Child Performance, Roman Griffin Davis would get it. His work as a fiercely indoctrinated fan of Hitler is some of the best I've seen from a young actor. Despite the off-kilter humor and subject matter, Waititi knows how to craft an emotionally devastating scene in a film I won't soon forget. Quentin Tarantino is perhaps looking at himself and Hollywood and wondering where all the fun went. In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino explores 1969 LA and the changing scene of the film business, drawing sharp parallels to today and the dying breed that is Hollywood's prestige filmmakers. Unconventional, bizarre, and unexpectedly hilarious, Tarantino's ninth film is a total blast. In 2019, Rian Johnson gave us an original whodunit filled with an impeccable cast and an enticing mystery. He also gave us Chris Evans in a comfy, cozy sweater. This genre has largely been relegated to books and television in recent decades, The few big screen mysteries we've gotten, mostly remakes and adaptations. So it's refreshing to see a murder mystery this fun with a cast this talented in 2019. I can't wait to see what Johnson does next. I've been rallying for Mike Flanagan since 2013's Oculus, so to see him given the opportunity to direct the sequel to The Shining was very gratifying for me. Any director stepping into this world had a considerable challenge, that of honoring Kubrick's legacy and King's. Flanagan succeeded with a tense, nail-biting horror film unlike any released in recent memory. He pulls out all his tricks here, unleashing a wave of well-crafted sequences, building to one of the most satisfying finales of the year. I believe in the coming decade, Dr. Sleep will be highly regarded amongst horror buffs as a film deserving of respect, a sequel nearly 40 years in the making that pulled off the impossible. For Martin Scorsese to return to the mob world once again with this pedigree of actors involved, he had to have something very special, and The Irishman delivered. This felt considerably more contemplative than Scorsese's earlier work. Here he meditates on our mortality, fear of death, loneliness, and the sudden urge to right the wrongs of our past, even when we know that's impossible. De Niro and Pacino are the best they've been in years, both playing off each other to exciting, even moving effect. But this movie's secret weapon is Pesci, who commands the screen with a performance that's absolutely ferocious, despite a misleading aura of calm. Folks, we just don't get movies like this anymore. From Zhang Yimou, helmer of Hero and House of Flying Daggers, Shadow is another masterwork of drama, romance, and sensational action set pieces. His use of color, or the lack of it, is striking. The costumes and sets are drenched in blacks and whites, reflecting the palette of Chinese ink wash paintings. Because of this color tone, the crimson splashes of blood during the climactic battle has seldom been this breathtaking. This is one of the most overlooked films of 2019. James Mangold's film about Ken Miles and Carroll Shelby is the rare movie that can entertain just about anyone. From the bitter, most jaded filmgoer to the casual viewer, Ford v Ferrari has something for everybody. It's not just a film about cars either. At its center is the inspiring tale of two men willing to fight against an unforgiving corporate system just to get the chance to do what they love. If you're passionate about something, odds are this film will remind you just how hard you're willing to work to achieve your goals. On the surface, Marriage Story appears to be a deceptively simple tale, but Noah Baumbach understands the complexities of divorce and how to showcase the lesser-known elements of the process in ways that are equal parts hilarious and tragic. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson both give two of the best performances of the year, digging deep to mine levels of anger and sadness rarely seen on the screen. People talk often about movies that feel real. Every moment of Marriage Story feels authentic, right to its core. After just a few scenes, the boundary between myself and the screen disappeared and I was swept away. South Korean filmmaker Bong Joon-ho gifted us with Parasite in 2019, a crushing social satire about two families from opposing sides of the class war. He uses clever visual storytelling to make his points, never force-feeding you his intentions. When one family is gazing at a rainstorm they find beautiful, the other is trudging down through the city into their flooded neighborhood, that same rainstorm barreling down on their home. Parasite somehow finds a way to be funny, suspenseful, and thrilling, all presented with some of the best cinematography of the year. From French filmmaker Céline Sciamma, Portrait of a Lady on Fire tells one of the more original stories of 2019. A painter hired to paint a portrait of a woman about to be married must do so in secret, only stealing glances of her subject while they get to know each other. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is a ravishing romance and an engrossing tale of secrets and mystery, but it's also spectacularly shot in pristine 8K. The colors leap off the screen. The performances, though, are perfect. Flawless. Sciamma's direction is enchanting, every shot as beautiful as a painting. When this releases wide, don't miss it. We've reached that time. It's time to talk about my favorite movie of 2019. I think most of you know what it is. It's pretty obvious if you've watched my channel. Without a doubt, the best movie I saw in 2019 was The Fanatic. John Travolta gives a performance for the ages. In fact, he's currently doing his For Your Consideration campaign for his incredible work in Limp Bizkit's movie, The Fanatic. Let's be real, they should make a sequel to The Fanatic. I mean, I'd watch it, wouldn't you? For God's sakes.
Everyone would watch it!
I'm of course kidding. The Fanatic. No film in 2019 resonated with me more than Robert Eggers' sophomore effort, The Lighthouse. Taking place entirely on an island amidst a seemingly never-ending storm, this story of two repressed lighthouse keepers riveted me from start to finish. Even though it's a film in danger of being labeled pretentious, Eggers isn't above a fart joke. All at once suspenseful and hilarious, The Lighthouse is almost like the horror movie version of Marriage Story. Two lonely people who need each other, suffering under the claustrophobia of their situation. It reaches impressive heights of paranoia and confusion and is by far the weirdest movie of the year, so naturally, I was very taken with it. I mean, if I can watch a film where Willem Dafoe is arguing with Robert Pattinson because Pattinson has hurt his feelings about the quality of his lobster meal.
You're fond of me lobster, ain't you?
Drunken enough for Ginny Fenton.
I seen it. You're fond of me lobster.
That gives me everything I want in a movie. I adore this film, and if you didn't get a chance to see it, please do. It's my favorite movie of 2019. I think it's just fucking awesome. Guys, thank you so much for watching my channel for another year. It's been really fun to talk to you guys about movies, and I'm going to continue to do it. I'm looking forward to January. That's going to be great. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. As always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.